What I miss the most about Cairo is the good weather, the people, and even the chaos. It's a city that never sleeps. It was really tough to leave Cairo and come to Germany, mainly because it was completely unplanned. I'd always intended to stay there, but today I can say it was a good decision.
Michael Landeck was born in Germany in 1972. He was 4 when his parents moved to Africa. He's lived in Lebanon, Yemen, and Egypt, and studied in Cairo. There, he met the woman who's now his wife. She's half Austrian, half Egyptian. They married in Cairo in 2005. 6 years later, the couple left Egypt and moved to Berlin for professional reasons.
Egypt is like a pseudo-homeland for me. Of course, I could never claim to be Egyptian. That'd be presumptuous. I always say I'm an amateur Egyptian, and that I've never lived anywhere as long as I have lived in Egypt. Cairo is the place in the world I know best, so it is kind of like home to me.
And he brought his love of koshary, Egypt's national dish, to Berlin. He'd studied marketing and had long dreamed of opening his own restaurant. Landeck developed a concept and then realized it in 2015. His idea to serve up North African street food.
There's a story, which hasn't been verified, that koshary came from India during the days when Egypt, like India, was part of the British Empire. And the pasta that's in it, because it's a mixture of rice, lentils, and noodles that form the basis of the dish, supposedly came from the Italians, who were living in Egypt at the time. There was a big Italian community there, which was responsible for pasta finding its way into the dish. But koshary is simply unique.
Koshary is Egypt's version of fast food. There, it can be found on almost every street corner. Its mix of rice, noodles, and lentils is also popular because it's traditionally a vegan dish, though variations with ground meat are occasionally offered. Spices like cumin and harissa, along with white wine vinegar, give the sauce its unmistakable taste. And koshary just wouldn't be complete without some caramelized onions on top. In Egypt, koshary is mainly offered at roadside stalls or snack bars. It's an inexpensive and filling meal, which is why it's a favorite among students and young people in general.
What's extremely important is that vinegar has to be added to the tomato sauce. The tomato sauce is basically similar to an Italian sugo di pomodoro. So if you leave out the vinegar, it tastes quite like Italian tomato sauce. The vinegar is extremely important to bring out that typical koshary taste.
The koshary look stands out from all the other restaurants around Savignyplatz in Berlin's Charlottenburg district. When it came to the interior design, Landeck had clear ideas about how it should look. He imported the furniture and accessories from Egypt.
The design itself is almost a trend in Cairo. What you see here in the restaurant is called Beledi chic in Egypt. Beledi is Egyptian folk culture, and that's really hip in Cairo, especially since the revolution. You take elements from folk culture and carry them over into a modern design language, and it's the same with the cuisine.
Landeck spent 6 months experimenting before he was happy with his version of koshary. Egyptian food is usually on the mild side, but you can add sauces to spicing things up.
It was really tasty, and something different. It's something you don't often find in Berlin. I could see myself eating that again.
The food is amazing and really flavorful, and and yeah, it's just really, really good.
Ich bin jetzt gerade in der Nähe gewesen.
I was in the area and thought I'd treat my colleagues to something. I've ordered 25 portions for all my colleagues, and they're thrilled because a few of them have tasted it already. That'll be our lunch later.
Dann gibt's das nachher zum Mittag.
Michael Landeck has captured the taste of the times with Koshary looks, and he's planning to open a second restaurant in Berlin.
النهارده عملت ليكم كشري فدلو